What's up, Finstock Nation? What's up, Dolphin Nation? The Miami Dolphins fall to 0-2 as of yesterday, as they lost to the Patriots 33-27. In this video, we're gonna go ahead and cover some stats, cover an article from the Sun Sentinel, and also insert a video, and the credit goes to that video for this from the Sun Sentinel, from Mr. Perkins and David Furones. But I'll let you listen to their thoughts. I read the article and give you my thoughts, and then I give you key stats, and then I'll insert the video. So let's get into this, guys. Again, the Miami Dolphins lost 33-27 on Sunday, September 14th of Week 2 NFL action yesterday. They fall to 0-2 and have a Thursday night game against the Buffalo Bills. This coming Thursday, Buffalo just put 30 on the New York Jets after the New York Jets fans were cocky all week on social media, saying that they were going to go ahead and beat the Buffalo Bills for the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the breakdown and then read the article. Team passing. For the Patriots, Drake May. He went on 19 of 23 for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rushing, 122 yards total. Stevenson had 54 yards on 11 carries. May added 31 yards. For the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa went 26 of 32 for 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. A crucial interception at a wrong time in the game for that to happen for the Dolphins. Devon Achane, in terms of rushing, led with 30 rushing yards on 11 modest contributions. Passing and rushing, roughly 352 yards. For the Patriots, 376 to 400 yards for our Miami Dolphins. Individual highlights. Again, Drake May, quarterback of the Patriots, won 19 of 23 for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Also rushed for 1 touchdown. Ramon Stevenson, receiving yards 88, 5 catches, plus 54 rushing yards. On 11 carries, a total of 142. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback for our Miami Dolphins, 26 for 32 for 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tyreek Hill, 6 catches for 109 yards. Return specialist, Malik Washington, 74-yard punt return. Antonio Gibson, 90-yard kickoff return for the New England Patriots. Key situational stats and team stats. Time of possession, Patriots, 33-45. Our Miami Dolphins, 26 minutes and 15 seconds. First downs for the Patriots, 18. First downs for our Miami Dolphins, 16. Third down conversion for the Patriots, 7-12. That's a clip of 58.3%. Third down conversions for our Miami Dolphins, 4 of 10, 40%. Fourth down conversions, the Patriots 1 of 1. Our Miami Dolphins 0 for 2. Total net yards, 333 yards for the Patriots, 358 yards for our Miami Dolphins. Rushing yards, 122 on 29 attempts. For the Patriots, 61 yards on 15 attempts for our Miami Dolphins. Passing yards, 211 for the Patriots, 297 for our Miami Dolphins. Number of plays in total, 55 yards. For the Patriots, 52 yards for our Miami Dolphins. Average gain per play, 6.1 for the Patriots, 6.9 for our Miami Dolphins. Penalty and penalty yards, 12 for 75 yards for the Patriots, 10 for 65 yards for our Miami Dolphins. Turnovers, 0 for the Patriots, 1 for the Dolphins on an interception thrown by Tua Tagovailoa. Fumbles lost, 1 for the Patriots, 0 for the Dolphins. Red zone efficiency for the Patriots, 3 of 4, 75%. 1 of 2 for the Dolphins, 50%. Goal-to-goal efficiency. 1 of 2 for the Patriots, that's 50%. 0 of 0 for our Miami Dolphins. The name of the article is Things We Learned in the Miami Dolphins 33-27 loss to the New England Patriots. And it was written by Chris Perkins. The Miami Dolphins entered Sunday's home opener against the New England Patriots, badly needing a victory they didn't get, losing it 33-27 to fall to 0-2. Heading into Thursday night's game against the Buffalo Bills, fans were angry during the past week, angry enough to finance an airplane that towed a banner and anti-general manager and anti-coach banner requesting the firing of manager Chris Greer and coach Mike McDaniel. Fans also booed the Dolphins lightly early in the game. All was forgiven by the third quarter when the Dolphins took a 17-15 lead that they turned into a 20-15 advantage. But that happiness didn't last long, and perhaps the same could be said for Mike McDaniel's future with the Miami Dolphins. We'll see. This week will be ugly. Here are some of the top takeaways from Sunday's game. Dolphins should brace for an all-time high in ugliness. Fans will especially be angry this week and will likely call for the firings of Greer and McDaniel again. The only break for the Dolphins is it's a short week. But if they lose Thursday at the Bills, they get a long week of ugliness before hosting the New York Jets on September 29th on Monday Night Football. Owner Stephen Ross will have a big decision to make this month as to whether he retains McDaniel and inserts an interim coach from the staff. McDaniel is now 28-25, not including his 0-2 playoff record. The Dolphins are 10-13, including playoffs since that 2023 late season loss to Tennessee. The Dolphins defense gave up points on 13 consecutive possessions dating back to last season by halftime. Included in that streak was seven touchdowns and 6 field goals. New England, which scored on its first 3 possessions Sunday, had a kneel down to end the first half, which mercifully ended the streak. The Jets scored on their final possession of last year's finale, a 32-20 Dolphins loss, and Indianapolis scored on all 7 possessions last week, a 33-8 Dolphins loss, and the Patriots scored on their first 3 possessions of the first half. The Dolphins, with Sunday's lost all 3 games involved in that streak. Hill returns a punt. Washington does it better, and then tragic strikes. Wide receiver Malik Washington's 74-yard punt return touchdown in the fourth quarter was a huge play in the game. Washington was one of the toughest players on the team, caught the punt on the right side and broke out of the pack of would-be tackles, hit the left sideline, and outran punter Bryce Berginger, with linebacker Willie Gay running back Ollie Gordon II and escorting him into the end zone. The Dolphins took a 27-23 lead on a touchdown. The problem was Patriots kickoff returner Antonio Gibson took the ensuing kickoff 90 yards for a touchdown to give the Patriots a 30-27 lead. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who the Dolphins were reluctant to use on punt returns the previous 3 years under ex-special teams coordinator Danny Crossman, had a punt return in the third quarter against New England. It went for 19 yards. Hill's first chance at the punt return went for 5 yards, but it was negated by a holding call against New England. Entering the game, Hill, arguably the Dolphins' most dangerous player with the ball in his hands, had 5 punt returns for 27 yards in his previous 3 seasons with the Dolphins, 2 returns for -4 yards in 2024. 2022 and 3 punt returns for 31 yards in 2024. Wide receiver Tyreek ended with 9 receptions for 109 yards, making the first time since 2023 the Dolphins lost when he had at least 100 yards receiving. The Dolphins previously were 11-0. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa threw an interception on his first pass of the day, but fortunately for the Dolphins, the play was negated by an offsetting penalties holding the Dolphins and an offsides on the Patriots. Unfortunately, Tagovailoa threw his only interception in the fourth quarter. It came on 4th and 9 with 2:12 remaining, and the Dolphins trailing 30-27. Tagovailoa ended 26 of 32 for 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a passer rating of 115.5. In the first half, the Dolphins got their passing offense going with Tagovailoa hit wide receiver Jaylen Waddle and running back Devon Achane for 18 and 29-yard touchdown passes, respectively. Tagovailoa's inability to run might have been costly late, as he wasn't a threat when the pocket broke down. Davis is first as 5th DB. Safety Ashtyn Davis was the 5th defensive back. The first time the Dolphins went to the nickel defense, along with cornerbacks Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones. Safeties Minkah Fitzpatrick and Fatu Malufalu, rookie slot nickel corner. Jason Marshall Jr. came in on the next 5 defensive backs play, replacing Davis and playing alongside the starting 4. Gordon gets involved early and late. Rookie running back Ollie Gordon II got in the game late in the first quarter and had a nice lead block on an 18-yard run by Washington. He then had a rugged 8-yard run up the middle. The Dolphins scored 1 play later on a touchdown pass from Tagovailoa to Waddle. Gordon, the physical presence in the backfield, didn't do much after that until the fourth quarter, when he had a 5-yard reception on 2nd and 12. Gordon ended with 1 rush for 8 yards and 1 reception for 5 yards. Trader replaces Malufalu in the second quarter. Rookie safety Dontre Trader replaced veteran safety Ife Malufalu in the second quarter. Malufalu was the closest defender on the Patriots' first touchdown, an 8-yard pass to wide receiver Matt Collins. Malufalu blew a touchdown coverage last week on a touchdown pass by Indianapolis wide receiver Michael Pittman. Malufalu was announced to have a calf injury with 1:04 left in the game. Pass rush begins to surface. The Dolphins front seven, which some consider the strength of the team, started to come to life as it recorded sacks Sunday, 1 by outside linebacker Bradley Chubb and 1 by inside linebacker Jordan Brooks. Another by outside linebacker Chop Robinson. The Dolphins had 1 sack last week against Indy, and it belonged to Chubb. A perfect example for why the pass rush is so important came in the third quarter when outside linebacker Jaylen Phillips missed quarterback Drake May before he uncorked a pass that resulted in a 55-yard catch and run completion to running back Raymond Stevenson, with linebacker Jordan Brooks trailing on coverage. On the following play, May outran outside linebacker Matthew Judon, turned the corner, and scored on a 6-yard touchdown. Perhaps the Dolphins didn't suffer any major injuries. The Dolphins lost 4 starters to injury last week against Indianapolis, but it appeared they didn't lose any against New England. In fact, they didn't have anyone enter the blue injury tent on the sidelines, where players get examined on the sidelines until outside linebacker Chop Robinson had a knee injury evaluation with 7:55 left in the game, and Malufalu was announced to have a calf injury late in the game. But we'll have to wait and see to be sure. Last week, the Dolphins lost right guard James Daniels' pectoral and right tackle Austin Jackson toe, defensive tackle Benito Jones oblique, and cornerback Storm Duck ankle. Offensive line struggles. The Dolphins' makeshift offensive line, right guard Keon Smith, right tackle Larry Broom were replacement starters, allowed 5 sacks Sunday. The crowning blow came late as the right side of the offensive line allowed a sack on the Dolphins' final play of the game. Starting center Aaron Brewer and left guard Jonas Amaya and left tackle Patrick Paul all had their bad moments, although Paul might grade out the best for the second consecutive week. Many regard this year's offensive line depth as the worst in the McDaniel era. The Dolphins ended with 61 yards rushing on 15 carries as they trailed most of the game. Heat and humidity don't help. Dolphins linebacker Jordan Brooks denied the notion that the heat and humidity could help the Dolphins win, and he was right. The feel-like temperatures hit 88 degrees, but the New England Patriots didn't seem affected. Brooks said, during the past week, it'd take a good mindset by the Dolphins to win hot or not. The Dolphins' only September home game with a 1 o'clock kickoff. They host the New York Jets on September 29th, but it's Monday night when hot and humid weather won't likely be a factor. Miami almost made arch nemesis Harold Landry disappear. For the first 57 minutes Sunday, the Patriots' Harold Landry only had his name called for one offsides flag as Tua Tagovailoa and the offense settled in. However, the former Tennessee Titan, who owned the Dolphins in his 3 games against the Auckland Orange, piling up 5 sacks, got 6 sacks in a huge spotlight. Landry has been the biggest single aspect of Mike Vrabel's success against McDaniel. Tua home mastery in September, Calderon dropped off slightly. Entering Sunday in his 1 p.m. starts in September at Hard Rock Stadium, Tagovailoa had gone 82 for 118 for 1,116 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 picks for an incredible 119.2 passer rating. His first interception in such games took his passer rating for the game to 115.5. He had a first half pick negated by the Patriots lining offsides, but had a solid final 45 minutes. What the 0-2 start means for the Dolphins in the past. Sundays marks the 14th time in team history the Dolphins have started 0-2 in his 27 seasons coaching the team. Don Shula got off to an 0-2 start only once in 1988. In the past 22 seasons, the Dolphins have been winless going into Game 3 10 times. In 3 of the previous 13 instances, Miami rallied for double-digit wins, including in 2008 season where, in Game 3, the Tony Sparano-led squad beat the Patriots. The Ronnie Brown game in Foxborough, Massachusetts to end the most enormous 21-game run in franchise history, where they went 1-21 from the end of 2006 through the magical 38-13 beatdown of the Bills. Belichick and Sparano and company finished that year 11-3 to win the AFC East. Meanwhile, the Patriots have had 0-2 starts in the past 24 years, 2023. Here are the past 13 0-2 starts and the final regular season record. 2020, 10-6. 2019, 5-11. 2016, 10-6. 2011, 16-6-10. 2009, 7-9. 2008, 11-5. 2007, 1-15. 2006, 6-10. 2004, 4-12. 1988, 6-10. 1969, 3-10-1. 1968, 5-8-1. All right, guys. If the Dolphins fall to 0-3, I can see Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer being fired. The question is, who would become the interim head coach after seeing what the defense did these two past games, I would not want Anthony Weaver as the interim head coach. I would either want Bobby Slowick or Darren Vevel to be the interim head coach. Guys, we're not going to win with Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer in town. Hopefully, Ross makes the right decision if he fires Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer. I don't expect us to win against Buffalo. That's just my 2 cents. Now let's listen to the Sun Sentinel video, and then I'll give you my thoughts and wrap it up for today's episode.
It started with a banner flying over Hard Rock Stadium, and as it turns out, this is now looking like a banner season for the Miami Dolphins as they start 0-2, and the fans it's drawing the ire of fans as a group of them decided to fly a banner saying fire Greer, fire McDaniel. That was before the game. Yep. Then they get to the game, they lose a home opener against the Patriots, who they have beaten 4 straight times in this rivalry. Perk, what do you think things stand for this franchise right now? As they're 0-2, they got a short week against Buffalo. Fans are out calling for the heads of the GM and the head coach, and they dropped this heartbreaker against Patriots.
Things are very shaky. We asked Mike McDaniel about his future. I asked him about his future. He said all of his attention is on the Buffalo Bills. He would be shortchanging the team if he thought about anything else. You followed it up with a question of whether he was aware of the banner. He said he wasn't. But Mike McDaniel is clearly aware that fans are frustrated. I don't know if he knows the level of their anger, but he is very well aware that fans are frustrated. If they drop to 0-3, I'm not sure that he gets a chance to make it to that Jets game. This is going to be very, measured process, a very sticky process. They've got to come out and play well. And the thing to me is there's nothing they can count on right now, Veronis. Not the pass rush, not the passing game, not special teams, nothing. Everything is showing big holes in it.
Okay, not even the passing game, which, all right, George, for a lot of proportions of this game, Tua is hitting Tyreek, Jaylen, Waddle, but you're not feeling that either. Tyreek said there's some momentum to build on in the passing game.
Well, maybe there is, but they allowed 5 sacks. And Tua throws a key interception there. I mean, you see flashes. And I talked to players in the locker room, and they told me, yes, we see flashes. Zach Sealer said that. Jordan Brooks said that. Everybody said we see flashes. I talked to Elijah Campbell. They say we see flashes, but until they get that ultimate reward in the form of a victory, it's all talk, and it raises doubt. Can they hold that lead for the entire game? You can't keep coming back like they've been coming back. The defense had allowed, scores on 13 consecutive possessions dating back to last season before the kneel down in the first half, the end of the first half. So they've got to have something to anchor this team aside from faith and good vibes and all that kind of mess. That doesn't get you in the victory column.
And fans were booing early. It wasn't only the banners, but it started to look like it was a Colts game again. Tua throws a turnover that gets nullified by penalty, but the defense isn't getting a stop, so that was the story early on. Boo birds are raining down. I think Mike McDaniel and Tua have both understood why. I think they take the same approach as far as knowing fans pay their hard-earned money to come out here. They expect victories. But on top of that, late in the game, after there was a nice stretch for the Dolphins midway through, you have the miscommunications going on, where fourth down, the play isn't getting in early enough. They're not breaking the huddle with enough time. Then all of a sudden they go to the line of scrimmage. They're snapping the ball up against the end of the play clock. What do you think is going on with that? Because this has been a story for a lot of Mike McDaniel's tenure. Is it fixable ever when we're here in year 4 and things like that are happening during key plays?
That's the problem, Verona, is that this stuff needs to be fixed already. And, I understood if it happened in 2022 when Mike McDaniel is a first-year head coach. We saw some issues in that Buffalo playoff game. You remember late in that game getting to play in. You had Skylar Thompson, a backup quarterback. That's all understandable, right? Backup quarterback, you're on the road in a playoff game, first-year head coach. This is the 4th year. Tua is not a rookie. All these guys out here, I know you have some offensive line fixes, but these guys aren't rookies. These guys are seasoned veterans. This stuff should be corrected. So that's the problem right now, that these things that should have been corrected have not been corrected.
Any hope for this team on a Thursday night, a short week, against the powerhouse Buffalo Bills?
Zero hope. I shouldn't say zero, near zero hope. You never say never. Near zero hope for me.
All right, you heard it here. Near zero hope right now, as now things are looking dire for the Dolphins. 0-2 going to Buffalo on a short week. For Chris Perkins, I'm David Veronis. This has been another Dolphins Deep Dive update from a 33-27 heartbreaker loss against the Patriots.
All right, guys, there you heard it from David Veronis and Chris Perkins. I already gave you my thoughts. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I appreciate the support, and as always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Fins.